Nvidia is the biggest of the tech companies, or one of the biggest. And stocks up over 125% so far this year. We've seen that pull back from all-time highs above $140 a share, Alex. So, maybe some profit taking, maybe some caution as the big tech rotation trade takes out. But I haven't seen anybody come out and say, hey, we expect, slower growth, or, we're not going to have an earnings beat at the end of August.
Yeah, at some point, though, this has just been a name that the run's been pretty extreme. Maybe a little bit of a game of kind of musical chairs or hot potato, where it was sort of, hey, as long as it's keep going up, I'm okay increasing the risk. But the second it turns, maybe the confidence that this has maybe gone a little bit too far, maybe the expectations gotten a little bit too high. Consider, it's not just beating today, it's not just beating by a lot today, it's basically doing this into perpetuity to maintain, a 40x multiple when you're a $3 trillion company. Now, granted, it's not a $3 trillion company anymore, it's come down a lot. $27. We're talking about a lot of outstanding shares when it comes to Apple. You're looking at every single dollar being $24.6 billion in market cap for Nvidia. So it's a huge, huge number that has been basically taken out of the value of this company just in the last few weeks. But it does seem that while we're not necessarily, working at an extreme pace lower, these dips that are being bought are lasting less and less time lately.
Right.
This is similar to what you're seeing in the overall market, but I think it begins and ends here. The stock has had a couple big gaps lower. And it's certainly been met with buyers. That makes sense. It's been the winner in the market. There's going to be a thinking of, hey, this is an opportunity to get into this name. But we're quickly, and we saw it yesterday. I mean, the stock traded down to 106, and it was like a snap of the finger. It lost, $250 billion in market cap. Now, granted, it came back, but it was unable to take out yesterday's high today. It fell from that level right at the open. Mm-hmm. Even as the market is making new highs intraday, Nvidia is still a good $3 off its highs intraday. So I do think there's been a sea change here.
Right.
Doesn't mean it's going to go down to double digits. Maybe it will. And maybe earnings will have a part in that down the road, but we don't hear from them until the last week of August. Perhaps increase of implied volatility, sideways trending name. Oftentimes that's how breakdowns happen. Start by going up, then you go sideways, then you go down. Maybe perhaps if there's going to be either a breakout or breakdown, maybe we have to have a sideways phase first.
In a stock market era where volatility is the only certainty, today's seismic shift comes courtesy of two towering titans, Nvidia and Tesla. Investors, analysts, and everyday market watchers are fascinated with the latest developments that can only be described as game-changing. The financial world is watching and waiting with utter excitement. Two technological giants have brought together their innovative might, sending ripples across the stock market and sparking intense speculation. Can you guess what happens when a leading electric vehicle manufacturer teams up with the driving force in advanced computing? If not, you're about to dive into the fascinating world of Tesla and Nvidia's latest venture. Stick around to uncover why this collaboration is the talk of Wall Street and what it means for investors. But first, if you want to keep up with Nvidia and Tesla's latest updates and keep up with the stock market's latest news, you can follow our Twitter account. We post multiple times daily about the biggest changes and catalysts in the market, so click the follow button if you don't want to miss the newest market updates. Now, back to today's video.
Yeah, and I've been talking about that with the overall market, maybe some consolidation warranted after the big gains. But like you said, it consolidated for a few weeks. Now it's down lower, below its 50-day moving average. But Alex, when you look at this, when Google came out and they said, hey, we're still going to spend on AI. We have to buy chips. We have to buy infrastructure, and they're not going to pull back. That was interesting to me, even though Google fell because YouTube advertising was a little bit lower than expected. But I'm surprised that Nvidia didn't catch a bid on that, because that's basically saying, hey, we're going to keep buying AI and AI chips and AI infrastructure, and that's right in the wheelhouse of Nvidia. Are you surprised that we didn't catch a bid on that, or is it just because it's still up 29% this year?
The reality is it did, and it just didn't hold.
It faded right away.
If you were watching after hours when Alphabet's numbers came out, Alphabet also caught a bid.
Right.
And then as the market digested it, And as the overall macro picture unfolded, there wasn't enough confidence for those prices to hold. And Nvidia is a good, $10 lower than where it was. Alphabet's a good $20 lower than where it was. So I look at this and say the stories are great, and as long as the market's going up, you sound like a genius. But sometimes just risk tolerance and risk sentiment changes. Clearly, there's a desire to be involved in small cap growth companies on that front more so right now than these big mega cap tech firms. And so, who am I to say to the market that can't be right? Yeah. That's just the reality of today. Could change tomorrow. Could change next week. Could change around earnings. But these same stories, saying AI a bunch of times in your conference call isn't enough to keep the stocks higher now, that's notable. Maybe the numbers are going to be great for NVIDIA, but we're not going to find that out till the end of August.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to be a part of a market where the Russell 2000 is leading it to the upside and tech's weak.
Tesla, known for revolutionizing the automotive industry with its sleek, high-performance electric vehicles, has always been known for its continuous implementation of cutting-edge technologies. Meanwhile, Nvidia, a behemoth in the graphics processing unit and artificial intelligence (AI) sphere, continuously pushes the envelope of what's possible in computing power. So it's hardly surprising that these two powerhouses would eventually find their paths converging. And what a convergence it is! The news that Tesla has chosen Nvidia's Drive Orin as their go-to platform for full self-driving capabilities sets a new precedent in the industry. For context, Nvidia's Drive Orin is essentially the Swiss Army knife of AI platforms, capable of 254 trillions of operations per second. It's like comparing a Formula One car to a tricycle. You simply can't picture its capabilities in mundane terms. Consider the statements made by Tesla's CEO Elon Musk on his platform X, where he mentioned, "Nvidia's computational power will accelerate our self-driving tech like never before." Well, if the man who tweets his way into and out of financial controversies says so, it's worth paying attention. Not only does Tesla's investment in NVIDIA technology represent an enormous leap in the autonomous vehicle race, but it also signals a looming shift in how the EV market itself operates. So how would this partnership affect the two giants? Hello everyone, and welcome back to Investocracy.
Spotlight those semiconductors, hot, then not. Keith Townsend's with us, global advisor at the Futurum Group. I was thinking about NVIDIA, and everybody had that FOMO, and they all jumped on. And it did go up to 140, but NVIDIA is at 112 today. This is less than it even was after the split, and it went down. I mean, the group that was so hot took a little breather, but still is incredible. I mean, if you look year to date, it's up 127%. So what's going on with the hype around these names?
Yeah, so everyone is excited about NVIDIA. I think one of the challenges that NVIDIA needs to answer is, one, is there fatigue around NVIDIA chips? Not in the sense that there's shrinking demand. Everybody wants them. XAI, Elon Musk's AI startup, just made a big splash with 100,000 chip orders. But I think there's this question amongst experts on whether or not these companies, these large hyperscalers, can deploy all of these chips and put them at use. So is NVIDIA gated? And now we're thinking through, well, if NVIDIA is gated, where can we get this need? As we look in the traditional data center AI at Intel, Intel just had a massive restructure around their DC AI business. And the big question is, have they, one, righted the ship? And then two, has the traditional demand for enterprise AI chips caught up with the enterprise, not these big hyperscalers, but where's the opportunity for the Intels and the folks that haven't hit the market yet, such as Grok?
Right.
The promise of truly autonomous vehicles has been an elusive goal, with timelines constantly pushed back. Musk is known for his ambitious timelines, shall we say? Yet this alliance lends tangible credibility to his projections. Financial analysts are highlighting the collaboration as a significant bullish signal for both companies' stocks. Historical data supports this view. According to reports, when Nvidia has announced similar partnerships in the past, such as with legacy automaker Daimler AG, Their stock saw a 15% uptick over 6 months. Similarly, Tesla's stock can recall a 12% surge following announcements of major tech integrations. And wouldn't you know it, use cases for Nvidia's platforms go beyond just self-driving cars. The cybersecurity applications by harnessing such robust AI could pose a whole new lucrative avenue. With Tesla's continually expanding product range, don't be too surprised if all those robo-taxis have an embedded system that's practically bulletproof. Both companies stand to benefit from this symbiotic relationship, but let's not forget the broader market implications. Stocks of other companies within the AI and EV ecosystems could experience ripple effects. Think component makers, software developers, and even energy companies making strides into clean technology. They all could reap secondary or tertiary gains. So what do the numbers say? Goldman Sachs predicts that Nvidia's quarterly earnings might see an additional 5% increase owing to this partnership alone. As for Tesla, JP Morgan forecasts an increase in market share within the EV sector, estimating a 3% rise directly attributable to their enhanced self-driving capabilities. So what does this mean for Nvidia and Tesla stock investors? Let's find out. But first, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
Boy, the defenses of NVIDIA come out. NVIDIA's been the big worry. The stock peaked, it's come back down, really bad chart. Well, this morning we've got Loop coming out and saying 120 goes to 175. We have Reuters saying there's a new flagship AI chip that actually works in China, won't be prosecuted necessarily or pulled off by this administration. We got Piper Sandler raising price target and talking about material upside. So, when you see material upside in Loop Capital, material upside in Piper, what you say to yourself is, man, are they ever trying to make this work? Blackwell sold out. I mean, all these things are just the kind of thing you get when you have analysts saying, we have to get this puppy up because this is the key tech name. All I come out and say is that, again, a Harris presidency is much more benign for Silicon Valley than a Trump presidency. Do you think that they really would be able to come up with a Chinese chip that Trump would approve of? You kidding me? But Gina Raimondo's been okay with a certain scaled-down Chinese chip. Commerce Secretary.
Meanwhile, you mentioned Piper and Loop City, positive catalyst.
Oh, my city, but the big time positive, like the most positive. And they are, by the way, because I've been in touch with NVIDIA, this is the fireside chat. Sit down with Jensen Huang and Mark Zuckerberg at a graphics conference on the 29th. Remember, I know people laugh at me on this Zuckerberg, on this, the Luxottica lenses, but this thing sold out. And I know that a $5 billion investment means nothing because you're dealing with the mega caps. But you got to remember that this was incredible that Zuckerberg sits down with NVIDIA. When Jensen used to say, listen, he's for combat, I'm for... He used to say, he's for combat, I come in peace. I'm in love, and he's, anger, all that stuff. Well, they are together. And I think it's fantastic for both of them. But don't forget, what matters is who do you think is going to be in the White House?
And we'll talk more about the SMH. It's been a rough few days.
Easy come, easy go. It's up huge.
Hit the opening bell in a moment. Stay with us.
It's time to lay your chips smartly. Both Tesla and Nvidia are already heavyweight champions in their respective arenas, and this collaboration could be likened to two Avengers forming an unstoppable team. And the forecasts are very positive too. Analysts suggest that Nvidia's stock could rise by as much as 20% over the next year, fueled by their expanding suite of AI applications. Likewise, Tesla's valuation could climb sharply, driven not just by car sales but by their pioneering self-driving tech. Currently, both stocks are holding strong. Tesla's marginal dip of 0.20% and Nvidia's 0.69% uptick might appear modest, but in the grand scheme, they signify stability before the expected surge. So don't be surprised if we see a bullish trend in the weeks to come. But what's the verdict? For anyone with an eye on long-term gains and the stomach for some degree of risk, investing in either or both could prove highly rewarding. Tesla's ambitious ventures, bolstered by Nvidia's unrivaled AI technology, could very well set new benchmarks in more than just the EV market. So if you ask us, it's a great opportunity to invest in these two firms, especially Nvidia. whose technology is being utilized and deployed in every major tech company nowadays. But the most important question is, are you ready to ride the wave of innovation? What's your take on this industry-shaking collaboration? Share your thoughts, and let's discuss whether this could be the start of the next big boom in the stock market. If you would like to know what companies like Nvidia and Tesla have been up to these past few days, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen. See you there.